Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is D. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I just here wanted to make a video about rehab. I've been to in rehab 9 different times. Um, I've seen my quite share of rehabs, and I've been to them: California, Florida, Michigan. And one thing I have noticed that is, most of the time when I'm there is in rehab is, the majority of the time I'm the only African American there. You know, um, there's only been a couple of times where there's been more than just me, and I used to always wonder, I'm like, geez, how come, every time I go, I'm always the only black guy in rehab. And, I don't know if it's because of, an insurance thing or, I know it's kind of gotten a stigma in the black community about going to rehab, because, I remember when I first went, I had friends like, when I tell them I'm going to rehab, oh, you going to that stuff and, that's white people stuff. And, you know, um, just I heard all reasons why you shouldn't go. And, you know, now in hindsight looking back, that when I do go and I don't hardly see any, you know, brothers there, it makes me wonder, hey man, do we even go to rehab? It's always, just like I said, just me most of the time when I'm there, or maybe if I'm lucky, there's one brother there, and and I just don't understand why we don't take advantage of that a lot more. We need to stop in the community, in our community, to stop with a lot of these negative nonsense about getting help. You know, um, every rehab I've gone to, I've had a great experience as far as treatment. Being treated with dignity and things of that nature. And I don't know if it's a lot of fear, but or just a cultural thing, but I hate seeing that. I hate when I was there that I'm always like the token black guy that they always ask, well, how do black people feel about it? And I'm like, I'm not the expert on how all black people feel about certain topics or whatever, but I can give you my perspective. But, that's just one of the things that, they're not used to seeing a lot of African Americans in rehab, because just a lot of us don't go. And, I had asked one of the counselors at one rehab I was at in Florida, and she just was like, it just doesn't be just a lot of African Americans just don't go, which is sad because we suffer just like everybody else. And I just wish that a lot more of us would realize that they need help and get it, because it's beneficial. It can be beneficial because it's been beneficial for me. I got a year and a half clean, and you know um, I would like more, you know of my brothers and sisters to get themselves together and seek some sort of help, you know as far as substance abuse and mental health, because a lot of these issues are kind of taboo in our community, and it's a shame. So a lot of us suffer in silence, or they scared, because I wasn't never scared of what people were gonna say about me going to rehab. I went. I was like, I'm gonna go, and I've caught flack from being going 9 times. And, oh, if you're going all these times, it must not be working. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go as many times as it take to get this thing figured out. But I did catch a lot of that. Oh, well, why do you keep going? It must not be working if you keep going. And that every time I do go, I'm getting something out of it. That's, whether it's just being sober from that period of time that I'm there, or some sort of uh, information that I learned, or educational piece that I've learned while I was there, I've always gotten something from it. So it's not a waste. But that's just that thinking where they're like, oh, well, it must not be working. You keep coming back. I mean, if you got a problem that you go to the doctor and one doctor can't figure it out, do you just stop going? Hell no. You keep going till you find a doctor that can figure out what your problem is. And that's how I was with my recovery. I was like, I'm going to keep doing this till I can get it figured out. And I'm not going to listen to anybody. And, that's the thing about recovery. You got to be really selfish with your recovery. You really do, because people that just don't understand it will tell you certain things to discourage you. And, they might not necessarily mean it in a harmful way, but, you know, um, what they're telling you is kind of, misleading, or can, put the wrong thoughts in your head, you know, and, we have a lot of that in our community. So, um, I just wish a lot more of us would get, our get checked into rehabs and get help from our mental health issues, and not use a cultural stigma, cultural bias or whatever you want to call it, to not go and sit there and suffer in silence, because you know you wonder what the next person's gonna say, and because when you're in rehab, you can't give a shit about what anybody else has to say. you know um, you have to have thick skin and not care, because people that don't understand this disease, or whatever you want to call it, I choose to call it a disease. um, People that don't have it don't understand it. You can't just pray it away, or just quit. If it was just that easy, everybody would do it. But I just implore that a lot more of African Americans and stuff, that you guys would look into, if you have a problem, look into getting you some sort of help, and not listen to people in your community about, oh, that's white people stuff. And it's not. It's for anybody that needs help.